It's good to see the lime green returning to the state of Kansas. Thumbs down for Mexican dirtweed. What's going on, man? Forced to talk. My name is Tobacco Row, and you guys have caught me drinking a beer. Now, this may say Steel Reserve on it, but on top it says 3.2 beer. I got 12 of them, and there's 7 left. So, this is my 5th one. Been sitting here with my boy. We just logged into his 2007, Google account. We have to log in with a Yahoo, and Google says you need to change it to a Google account. It's still Yahoo. We said okay and just went on and left it Yahoo. Logged into his account and he just left. So I'm watching John, and I watched Steve Lives Here the other day. And John, I'm going to tell you, man, I've known Steve for about a year or two now. Trolled him, checked out all the people in his comments, things they said to him, things he said to them, looked for his enemies, found their sites, enemy videos that they put up against him, and his friends, and, just tried to learn as much as I could. Spent a few hours trolling old Steve. Steve probably tell you that I did a fairly good job. Got on here and bullshitted him pretty good. In a wise way, I think, eventually, at first just shock and awe, and then later, okay, I get the message. And so Steve and I are pretty good buddies, I hope, I think. I want to say something about nicotine. Yeah, pure, natural nicotine. The detriment to a person is that it hardens the arteries and causes you more likely to have a stroke or heart attack, no matter how it's delivered into the bloodstream. Tar in lungs from cigarette smoke in an active individual is extruded, just like shit is extruded out of your ass, through mucus. When you cough up mucus, that's what takes dust and debris and whatever else you breathe into your lungs out, and it takes the tar out with it. Activity is the best thing for clearing out your lungs. Take that from me, a clown, a guy who can blow up, well, I think at least 150 balloons in 2 or 3 hours. What else? That's nicotine. Lung cancer, Steve, like I told you, was caused by asbestos dust. That's why we had such a big crisis. We don't have it anymore. American Heart Association is saying nicotine risk is hardening of the arteries, and there's a number of things that add to it. Your weight, your race, your personality, A-type personality, smoking, and last I checked, which was about 10 fucking years ago, American Heart Association considered anything under a pack of cigarettes as a non-smoker. So you could report that to your insurance company as a non-smoker as long as you stayed under 20 cigarettes a day. I think that was almost back in the day when, there's still asbestos around. Anyway, you guys. So you're talking about chewing. I'm in my editor, I had to just hop into Google Earth and cut a picture of the chemical plant. And I might put one right here that I worked in Wichita, Kansas. And now I started chewing when I was 8 years old in 3rd grade when Todd Ward brought some Red Man to school. And so I experienced Red Man probably at about 8 or 9 years old. Saw people get sick. Knew when you're throwing up. I'm not that much. Just give me a little piece. Whatever. Dizzy. Woo. Man, dizzy. But it was a long time of just smoking cigarettes. And before I started smoking this pipe tobacco. Tobacco in a pipe. So I have this pipe tobacco now, and this is what I chew. Oh, back to the chemical plant. So anyway, what I was saying about the chemical plant was that that's really when I started chewing what you guys are calling snuff. Now, even long before that, I had bought snuff at the grocery store in a little can with it's a paper can about that tall, about that big around, with the metal lid on it. It's what those old grandmas used to dip that shit with a little spoon and fucking snort that tobacco, just like this tobacco, up their nose. It was just powdered, so fine. I grow tobacco, you know. I believe in what John says about natural, because I think some of that stuff you guys is chewing has kerosene in it. I mean, that's my opinion, and there's a lot of opinions out there as to what they put in it, but there's something in it. Okay, I chewed Cougar. I'm pretty sure it's what I chewed was Cougar. It's very similar to Skull, long cut black, plain. So I also, you know, if I had more money, I'd chew Skull, long cut, plain, black can. Love that can, little silver label on it. So that's what I chewed when I was in this chemical plant. Now, why I started chewing when I was in the chemical plant is because in a chemical plant they have a lot of things that are flammable that could be leaking, you know, possibility of being around flammable gases. I don't know if that makes any sense, you know, chemicals, flammable gases. Really, a lot of the chemicals that we made were made out of flammable gases, like hydrogen and hydrogen and propane and methyl. You know, methyl alcohol. When you vaporize methyl alcohol, it's just pretty awesome stuff. You know, especially if you like mix things like chlorine in it, that fast oxidizers. You know, some chemicals that you dip a sheet in them and put it out on the line to dry, and as it dries, it just lights on fire, something like that. If you had a dry sheet on the line and you sprayed water on it, it would light on fire. What was that plant? That was our new plant. Anyway, I spent 4 years working in a chemical plant, and with flammable crazy. Sorry to go into so much drama to explain why people in chemical plants don't smoke cigarettes, they chew tobacco. In the control room, I mean, you about literally had to, if you want to take a cigarette break, you had to go to a control room, you know. And I may be out in the plant. I was a pipe chaser. A draftsman. I did P&IDs, piping and instrument diagrams for the safety department, for people to make operational procedures. OSHA required hazardous operational procedures, HAZOPs we call them, and they needed pictures. They needed drawings of all the pipes, and then, so I just spent days and days and days chasing down pipes and drawing lines between one tank and the other, one pump, one compressor, one condenser, one cooling tower, one whatever the fuck it was today. So there you go, man. You know, I didn't get to smoke at work except at my 2 breaks, and before, after my 2 breaks, and lunchtime. And this was in 1990. This was in 1989, 90. Now, I do smoke natural tobacco. This is pipe tobacco. I think it's pretty natural. And this cigarette's going to go out in a minute. So I'm going to take 2 drags out of it, and I'm going to set it in the ashtray, and it may sit over there for a while. Sometimes I just let it hang around in my hand when I'm doing a video. Actually, I don't do that. What the fuck? You know, I let it hang out in my mouth. So anyway, this is Largo. If your shit was natural in the can that you guys are dipping out of there, okay? If it was natural, it would be the same fucking shit that's in the sack. All right? If you're looking for the nicotine, it's in the sack. If you're looking for those weird fucking chemicals like kerosene that they put in Copenhagen, I don't think they put it in Skull, then go for it, you know? I mean, I would almost just rather pick my own chemicals and take them separate of the tobacco and keep the tobacco over here and the kerosene over here. So I'm like huff a little kerosene and then chew some piping tobacco instead of putting the kerosene in my pipe tobacco and then putting a can on it and putting a label on it that says Copenhagen. All right, so there's nothing wrong with this. I did a video for Craig about this. There's nothing wrong with this shit. I know people probably say, "What the fuck? How much? You're doing a fucking wad like that, aren't you? Huh? Man, a farmer from the days when I grew up, where I grew up, I told you, man, 3rd grade, man, I was exposed to this shit. They would take a wad 4 times that big, and they didn't care where that tobacco come. A lot of times it come out of the garden. Oh, wait a minute. Has a stem in it. You know, but really, man, those stems ain't bad. Air conditioner just came on. Them stems ain't bad, man. They'll, you know, once they water down, and all you need is, I don't have any pop. Sorry, you guys. You caught me the wrong time. You water that down, it will become moist. I'm with John all the way, man. Keep it away from your front teeth, okay? If it's really long like this back here, I will never have any of this tobacco in my teeth if I keep these really long cut pieces back here. You know? And I'm not going to enjoy this all at once. I'm going to work this baby over 2 or 3 hours. I don't know, man. Look, I could actually spit. I don't know how to spit though. Sorry. I just never squeeze that much juice out of it once. I squeeze a little bit out, you know, and then 10 or 15 minutes later, maybe I need a little bit more. But most of the time, it just sits over there, chills, and people at work don't even know what's in there. 13 minutes. I'm out. Bye! Cool video, John. Yeah, Steve lives here. Woo, our history goes back. Stop catcher. Later, Steve! I'm still thinking about that fundraiser now. You hear me?